Obviously, really proud of our young men. The adversity that they've gone through here in the course of the last month, uh, I don't think people really have any idea, including today, just trying to get to the game when you gotta stay outside of Philadelphia because of protocols. So it took us an hour to get to the game today. And then you get here and you got COVID testing and guys in certain parts of the building. Temple does a great job in terms of keeping things, moving. But it's just so strange, guys. It's to be able to describe, it's very, very difficult. It's for our guys to come out today. I mean, there were times in the game when we were trying to run action because guys were playing so many different positions. They'd be like, "Coach, I don't know that one from this position." So we changed the call right in the middle of the flow. And it really started with defense tonight. We really got after them defensively. All we preached was toughness, toughness, toughness. It's interesting. 2.5 weeks ago when we were supposed to play Temple, we said we're going to get on the plane to go to Philadelphia with the toughest team. The guys were amped and ready to go, and then it hit and we got sidelined. So it just so happens our first game is the same place we were supposed to go 2.5 weeks ago. And I said the same thing to our guys. And that's the toughness that I expect, and that's the toughness that certainly our fans expect. But that's the toughness that we're about. And I see it in practice every day. We now need to start seeing it in games. And obviously from an individual performance, David DeJulius was really, really good. Keith Williams made great plays at the end. I thought, Chris Vogt was really, really good defensively, as most of our guys were. So again, a number of guys. I mean, Jeremiah Davenport literally willed us at the end of the game with his energy. So there wasn't a single person in our organization that didn't have something to do with tonight's win. And I look forward to getting back and heading back on the road Saturday.
Coach, you said walk-on might have to play. You started one. At what point did you realize that was the case? And was starting Rob a product because of minute limitations or fitness for other guys, or were there other reasons?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a number of things. All of the above. I mean, just Rob hasn't missed a practice. Has been tough as nails, and guys it's COVID. I mean, you've never no idea who's going to practice. So right now, normal way of doing things is out the window. I mean, we have to adapt. And as coaches and players, we have to adapt. Rob adapted, Keith adapted. We just have to adapt right now. And, I think Luke said it was a season of sacrifice. That's certainly what it is. I think that's pretty appropriate. And it certainly has to be that for all our guys.
Have you ever started a walk-on before?
Oh, sure. I guess I don't know if I have or not. It's a good question. I don't know.
Coach, what has these last few weeks been like for you mentally? Just keeping yourself sharp. And we talked to David about, from at least players' perspective, what's it been like for you?
Well, it's been interesting because I've been just me and Coach Lund and Coach Nielsen, we haven't had a lot of people in the office. So that's been interesting. I've done a lot of one-on-one workouts, kind of going back to my assistant days, which has been really good. I really enjoyed that. And I think it paid off for some guys. We got a chance to spend a lot of time together with the guys that were healthy, me personally, but being limited to one-man workouts. And then, anytime you get a long time to prepare for somebody, that always helps too. And I thought our preparation was finally where it needed to be tonight in terms of personnel awareness and where we wanted to send guys and where we wanted to guard them in different places of the floor. When you have time like that, it helps. And we don't have time like that anymore. It's kind of been taken away from us now.
You talk about the defensive effort in the first half. It looked like guys really sold out and did a great job scouting report wise, like you mentioned, doing what you wanted them to do to get Temple in uncomfortable spots.
Yeah. So, Coach Lund had to scout, and he typically is not on the floor, but he had to be this week. So he did a great job. Everybody stepped up and did different jobs. And our guys' energy and toughness and physicality, we were all over the place. We were all over the place. And chance favors the aggressor. And, we didn't press, and we didn't play a lot in transition. I had to kind of pull things back a little bit because of our numbers. And you saw me kind of put my hands up more than we usually do to run some plays and put the ball in the right position, because if it got up and down too much, then we weren't in a position to be able to finish that game. So we had to adjust going in. That was the game plan. We had to adjust on the fly on a few things. And, Keith has to play the 4 instead of the 3 sometimes, and he made plays from that position. Just different guys stepping up and kind of checking all our egos at the door and doing what the team needs.
What do you even tell a team before a game where people are going to be in new positions and it's your first time playing in 25 days?
I'm sorry, Charlie, I didn't catch that.
What did you tell the team before the game?
Well, we just made it about toughness. Last night, each individual on the team said give us when you had to show the most toughness in your basketball career. And then we talked about that right before we went out. And our mission was to beat Temple. And we rarely talk like that. We usually talk process. But we've had to change things up a little bit. And again, I thought our guys just played with a great deal of toughness. I'm surprised that we did execute at the end. The last 2 minutes we actually execute. Guys got in the right spots, let their talents come out. If we can continue to execute like that, then we'll certainly be a much better team.
We asked David about this, but obviously the layoff and depleted roster, but how much of his aggressiveness and assertiveness was what you want to see how from him as an offensive defense player anyways?
Well, I think we all knew it. Certainly Dave and I did, and he's been in the gym every day and got a lot of chance to spend a lot of time with him, and we want him to be aggressive. 19 of our first 30 shots were from three. Okay, we're gonna be aggressive, and I didn't want to take that away from our guys. I wanted them to be aggressive, and they were. And as long as we're defending, we can afford to be more aggressive offensively. And Dave was a product of that, and I thought some of his teammates did a great job of the screening angles and some of the things we ran to get him open for some shots, and he just made the right plays.
John, when it's been such a weird season, strange as you called it, you have 25 days in between games. How much more of a lift does getting a win in kind of a weird setup like this, how much more of a lift does that give your team?
Well, Jeremy, I certainly at the end of the game there, we had a lead and we found a three-point shooter. My mind slightly crept into, damn, I'm not really excited about getting on that plane without winning this game. And, our guys found a way. And there's nothing normal right now. Dan Hortz, obviously, on the post game was like, Coach, you've won a ton of championships. Is this one of your more memorable wins? And I said, Dan, I don't know if it's memorable or not, but it's memorable the fact that I'm doing my radio show. My kids are FaceTiming me while I'm doing the radio show. I mean, it's just like on my phone because I'm doing the radio show from my phone. There wasn't a single person in the crowd tonight, not one. So it's just for Temple's players, for our players. This is just so much different than even NFL and college basketball. I can't explain it because we play so many games, and I'm really proud of our guys to be able to fight through. So yes, it's a memorable win from that standpoint. But I'd like it to be the first step for this team in terms of getting better. And I said from the beginning, we will get better throughout the year. And I think tonight's a perfect example of that.
What were your expectations for this game in particular, and how did the outcome match those or not?
I don't put expectations on things. We attack, we're process oriented. I didn't know we were going to play tough. I knew you'd see a physical basketball team that was going to be tenacious, ball hawking, and flying around. So I knew that was going to happen. We actually executed a little bit better than I thought. And by no means did we execute well, but we executed a little bit better than I anticipated. See, one of the challenges this week was, all right, the systems like, Coach, we got to go over our zone defense. We didn't have enough time. We have to get ready for Temple. We have to the guys have to remember the stuff they had. We can't be out there too long because, we got guys just coming back. So we really had to cut a lot of things in half. So right now we're relearning our system a little bit. And, but when you're aggressive defensively, you can afford to take the time to do that.
David DeJulius just said that you met with him and told him, be even more aggressive. And he said he was surprised by that because he hadn't been playing up to his standards. What gave you, what was the reason for giving him that message and your overall confidence in him?
Just I believe in him. I mean, I've watched, I've seen him. We recruited that area hard in high school when the high school was coming out. When I was in Northern Kentucky, come over here, we've always recruited Detroit hard. So I've seen him for a long time, and I just believe in him. Like all our guys, I just believe in him. And I knew it was just a matter of time. And I'm telling you, he'll be one of the elite point guards in our league as the season goes on, leading into next year. We just gotta make better reads and continue to make the right. See, the key now is to make reads out of being aggressive, right? It's easy to make reads when you're not being aggressive. Now, when you're being aggressive, you still got to make the right reads. And he's got really good teammates around him to help him.
Any idea what recovery looks like this between now and Sunday and trying to, get as many guys as you can on the court and get ready for another game?
Yeah, Chad, we'll huddle up tomorrow. Yeah, and just find out. I have no idea. I know that the FaceTime calls to the guys in isolation don't take as long as they used to. So I know that's dwindling down a little bit, but we'll see what it looks like. We got to head up down to New Orleans on Saturday afternoon to get ready for a noon Sunday game.
How enjoyable is this plane ride going to be?
That's the best part. The best part. My hair, they soaked me pretty good. I have a different shirt on. They got me pretty good. These are the plane rides that are going to be great. This is road wins are special in this profession, and I know our guys will really enjoy the ride back. And it's a fun group of guys to be around. So I'm glad they'll have smiles on their faces and excited about the next step.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Coach.
Coach. Thanks, Andre.